warm-ups. Let's meet the starting lineups. First, for the designated visitors, CBC. At guard, 5'7" sophomore, number 0, Zaire Allen. At center is 6'4" senior, number 1, Amelia Kristevsky. At guard, 5'6" junior, number 3, Jordan Allen. At forward, number 1, senior, Montgomery.
You're watching the Border League on League Ready. Beautiful, sunshiny afternoon in Las Vegas, and ready for our first of 4 for the Border League. It's California-based CBC against the dominant Lady Bulldogs out of right here in Las Vegas. And welcome into our studio alongside the great Trey Demps. I'm Sam Bree. So good to have you with us for some basketball. And Trey, we get really high-level basketball on the girls' side. Amelia Kristevsky against Nation Williams is our matchup to watch.
Yeah, it's really going to be a battle down low. When you talk about Nation Williams, the Nevada Player of the Year, averaged 17 and 10 a season ago, leading her team to a state championship. And on the other side, you have Kristevsky, who's 6'4", can shoot it from the outside, can finish in the inside. So it's going to be a great matchup.
Super high level between these two programs. Really one of the best in California against one of the best in Vegas. This Lady Bulldogs team won 8 consecutive state championships from 2015 to 2023. They were briefly unseated, now back at the mountaintop. That type of success is almost unparalleled at any level.
And when you think about being on a team like that, there's a standard that you have to meet, especially as you talk about the new wave of basketball at the high school level and the collegiate level. You have to live up to that standard, championship level expectations every single day at practice.
A big absence on the CBC side today. Talk about high standards. Jersey Robinson has that, but she twisted her ankle and she's out of the game. Robinson, a 5-star recruit with tons of offers, is not in the game for CBC. But they've got plenty of replacements, and meanwhile, it's a nice start for Nation Williams on the inside, but quickly the other way, a score for Montgomery to knot us at 2. And then a timeout for a very frustrated Karen Wheats. So 2 quick buckets and a timeout.
And that's exactly what we talked about in the open. I mean, it's the championship expectations. It doesn't matter what type of game this is. It's an exhibition. Like, that is not acceptable where you have nobody sprinting back. That's the guard's responsibility to get back in transition on defense. And so that's why you get a timeout right away, because as a coach, you have to set the tone. And
you can see Karen White's the head coach for the Lady Bulldogs right away motioning to the official timeout. It looked like it was Nation Williams who had scored the bucket on the other end, not hustling back. Right away, the timeout to get the message across. So the Lady Bulldogs in the Carolina blue, CBC in the black. Rumbling inside, D.D. Mitchell with the bunny off the glass.
Great pace there from Mitchell. Came off the ball screen, saw the drop coverage, attacked straight downhill and got to the midi.
Cherry Hatter with the driving kick, and it's Malik missing from downtown. Offensive rebound, and they'll get a foul on Nation Williams. 24 in blue, one of our players to watch today. Trey, she is among the best recruits in the country for girls basketball.
She's one of those players that's going to get downhill over that right shoulder and her left hand, and you know where she's going, but it's still almost impossible to stop.
Amelia Kristevsky, also sometimes impossible to stop, coming up short from the mid-range and then stolen away by Mitchell. Much more on Kristevsky and Williams, who are matched up on each other as we get through the night. That pass was intended for Oru, and we'll stay on this end.
With Oru and Williams, you're going to see a lot of 3 out, 2 in, which is kind of like an old school style of basketball, but that's where the strength lies for this Lady Bulldogs team.
And all the top headline players in this game play on the inside. And here's the #1 headliner, Nation Williams. Turnaround, no. Great stand-up defense from Kristevsky. White pulling and hitting from 3. Another timeout for the Lady Bulldogs, who have now called time after every surrendered basket.
And that's going to be a big key because you have to think that the bigs in this game are going to offset each other. So it's going to be about the guard play and who's going to step up confidently. And it's a great pull-up by White in transition. Saw the defense was played back and just drilled it right in their face.
You've already heard her name a couple of times, but Nation Williams is one of the top recruits in the country. She played with USA Basketball in the under-16 team, winning a gold medal at the under-16 AmeriCup in Mexico. She's got offers from USC, UCLA, Notre Dame, Texas, Michigan, and plenty of others. And I think everyone wants a piece of number 24.
Yeah, I mean, she's decorated as a basketball player you'll find at the high school level, and is going to have an extraordinary career.
On the drive, here's Mitchell. Looking inside for Oru, but it's plucked away by Krstevski. Quickly the other way, Montgomery is blocked. Now they chase for the ball, and it's Mitchell who comes up with it. And then out of bounds, quick hands on the other end for White. Let's take another look at a highlight reel rejection.
Well, clearly that timeout works because saw in that play, Mitchell sprinting back, transition defense, and able to stop the layup. That's one of the reasons why he took the timeout, is because you have to develop those standards early on in the season.
Williams right to the can and throws it right to Cherry Hatter. 3 early turnovers for the Lady Bulldogs as Hatter pops a long distance 3. Cherry Hatter, the #1 sophomore in Arizona.
It's the second time we've seen a pull-up transition 3 early in the game. You don't normally see that. You'd like to work yourself in the game, but if you got it going, got to keep it putting those shots up until they don't fall.
Oru goes back outside. Fenton to Oru, who takes a tumble, and fouled by Krstevski. Well, just the second touch of the game for Cherry Hatter. Ended up with some open space. Why not?
And it was great pace in transition. Acted like she was going to attack, pulled the ball back out as if she was going to set up the offense. And poor job of communication by the Bulldogs, and about Hatter making her pay.
Now back on the Lady Bulldogs side, and fresh off the bench, here's Allie Brown. Handoff for Oru. And she gets it back to her point guard, D.D. Mitchell. Another long distance 3. Well off the mark. Offensive board, and no good on the putback, but more life for the Lady Bulldogs. It's Branch off to Mitchell. Oru committed to Seton Hall at the end of July. Now she sets a screen. Slow developing offense here for the Bulldogs. Can't quite pierce this man-to-man set. Mitchell inside, off the glass, and it tips out of bounds off a Bulldog. So a great 40-plus seconds defensively for CBC.
One of the things you saw in that possession, pretty much 2 through 5, they are switching all handoffs, all ball screens, and so it's hard for the Lady Bulldogs to get an advantage offensively. That's where you got to be able to attack those mismatches.
Here's Krstevski. Drops it off in the high post. And Montgomery with a nice driving kick, and no good from the mid-ranger. Back to the Lady Bulldogs as these two teams feel each other out, opening Saturday's Border League action. The 6th iteration of this event. Mitchell gets a screen. Little mismatch now with Krstevski.
That's where you got to attack, right there.
Mitchell now attacking. Fenton for 3. And well off the mark. Shot clock violation. How about this defense for CBC?
Well, one of the things I was going to mention, Stanton, is you always want to attack the other team's best offensive player because that fatigues them. And so anytime you get Krstevski, who's 6'4", in the center on a switch, you have to try to attack her right away. I thought in that possession it took a little bit too long to recognize that mismatch and try to get downhill.
Montgomery goes to Krstevski, but quick hand for Nation Williams.
That was a good three-quarter court front there by Williams to not allow Krstevski to get the basketball on that low post entry.
We see her denying the ball right now as now Krstevski flashes and scores. What a nifty move.
Yeah, just such a quick finish. Almost looked like Kevin Love back in his heyday, how quickly he was able to get the ball in the glass.
Just an instant. In and out for three. Krstevski on the board, starting to assert her will on the game. She's committed to play at Oregon. Three ball in the corner, rattles on home.
And that was a great play by Cherry Hatter to draw the defense to her in transition, play off 2 feet, and make the fundamental pass to the corner.
Williams is automatic from the mid-range. Nation Williams able to quiet the CBC crowd after that Delaney White three. Here's Hatter to Krstevski. She'll pop a tray and stick it.
There's not a lot of 6'4" girls basketball players in the country with that size that have that fluid of a jump shot.
The 30th ranked junior in the nation. A little bunny, not even close for Sinai Branch. And without Jersey Robinson, CBC playing lights out. White can't hit this one. Little heat check for Delaney. And Lady Bulldogs ball. Williams will take it herself. The step, the shot is good.
And that's, again, you know that she's left-handed. You know that she wants to go over that right shoulder, and it's so hard to stop because she's so strong, but still so balanced to be able to get off that little bunny.
Looking for White off the backboard. And this time boarded by McFarland. Nation Williams, it really struck both of us watching tape on her how polished she is with that left hand.
She's an improved perimeter shooter as well, can face up, and if you play off of her, she'll knock it down in your face.
Unable to shake off Krstevski there. Here she is from the outside, and an air ball. You won't see that too much from Nation Williams. But here she is with that left hand.
Yeah, it's just, you know, the modern basketball is you kind of get 5 out. You give your center the ball in the middle of the floor, and you space the floor out. And let your best player go to work. And you're Krstevski there. You got to do a better job of sending that ball to the right. Know your personnel and try to make them finish over the left shoulder.
Malik, a triple. Boarded by Williams. She's just skying for that one. Here's Mitchell, dumping it off. Oru, looking to shake off her defender. Ends up in a tie-up. That'll send it back to CBC.
If you're Oru there, you got to keep the ball high. That is your superpower, especially in transition when you have guards getting back. She lowered that basketball, and that allowed for CBC's guards to get their hand on the ball and cause the jump ball.
Malik. Oladokin with her first touch, and she just whips it into no man's land to send it back to the Lady Bulldogs.
And that was a great denial there by Nation Williams. But then as the back cut happened, she was still able to retract and stay in the play and cause a tough pass on the angle.
That pass squeaks out to Fenton as Williams now corrals it. Into the corner, McFarland with a double dribble.
That was good defense there. Nation Williams was attacking on that play. You had 3 girls in the paint waiting for a drive so that she wouldn't be able to get downhill as easy. That's what you want to do, make her be a passer.
Malik. And now Oladokin Driving in, swatted away by Williams, who seems to have locked in defensively. We saw the first possession of the game for CBC. Williams a little slow to get back. Since then, dialed in.
Yeah, you see the instincts on those hands. Played vertical on the drive, and then as the shot was going up, was able to find the basketball. Looks like they called a foul there, though. Interesting.
Oladokin misses the game's first free throw attempt. By the way, here at the Border League, fouls reset halfway through each half. So 2 16-minute halves. At the 8-minute mark, we have the fouls resetting. Rosie Oladokin going 0 for 2, and now Krstevski, the offensive board. Malik throws it up and draws another foul. So more CBC free throws coming.
Good job of Malik playing off the catch there, being ready to be a threat off the offensive rebound. Krstevski throws it out, and she attacks the closeout. And the help side a little bit late getting there, caused a foul.
But 0 for 3 at the stripe. CBC has not helped themselves. I'm sure that's irking the 14th year head coach, Alicia Kamaki. After the first one finally falls, here's Mitchell. Keying the Bulldogs offense. Williams comes out for it. Down to Oru. And she's rejected. It's Oladokin on the block. Now Malik. Krstevski. Another three.
Nation Williams is so used to guarding post players as she sprints to the basket in transition. But gets for a second that Krstevski is more than a capable three-point shooter.
And this bounces in for Mitchell. Just the teardrop for 2. Oladokin will try a transition triple.
When they watch film of this game, Lady Bulldogs, the first thing that's going to come up is transition defense, because right now, as we see, sweet take there with the right hand by Mitchell, but it's been too many opportunities where CBC's come down, whether a made basket or a missed basket, and able to get easy looks.
And that's really the tone this game started with. About 15 seconds in, we saw the Bulldogs give up an easy transition bucket. Coach White's called timeout. And the problem hasn't been solved. Free throw doesn't go in, but a foul on the rebound by Krstevski. Meanwhile, CBC is raining from downtown, starting with Krstevski. And then it was Oladokin.
Right there, the previous one, Nation Williams, just natural instinct is to run underneath the basket as a post player. But when you're guarding Krstevski, you have to think twice about that and just automatically go down to the paint.
A long 2 for Oladokin. Perimeter shooting for CBC has been on point.
If you're the Lady Bulldogs, your pickup point has to be a lot higher. This CBC team is knocking down shots.
Williams rejected, but they'll get Krstevski for a foul. How does Trey feel about that?
I don't know, but that looked pretty clean. That looked pretty clean on my end. I mean, that's still don't want to let her get to her left hand. If I'm guarding Nation Williams, I'm making her put that ball with her right hand first at least, and then she might spin back with her left if she knocks down the first one. But I thought on the recovery, it was pretty good D's. We see it again. Yeah, stays with her, goes vertical, gets all ball. That's a tough call there.
Maybe a little action with the other hand.
Right.
It might have been a slight grab. I don't know. You got to kind of look for the foul, which usually if you're looking for it and can't find it, it's not there. 6 to go in the first half. A 10-point cushion for CBC, playing without 5-star recruit Jersey Robinson. How about the left-handed take for Cherry Hatter?
It's a good recognition by Hatter, understanding that the Bulldogs did not communicate on the guard-to-guard handoff. Most of the times that's a switch. Made him pay.
Little inside-out game here, and a miss from the outside for Mitchell. She's able to corral it, though. Bulldogs secure an offensive board. And here's Allie Brown weaving in, and a little wild on the shot. White pounding it in the paint. Left the teardrop short. Rebound snared hard by Williams. In transition. Tough to corral the ball for Branch. Gets it to Williams, but a travel call.
Still, that's a better job defensively in transition for the Lady Bulldogs. You notice that pickup point was a lot higher. You force the CBC guards to drive downhill and try to finish over the top. It's what you want to do if you're the Lady Bulldogs.
CBC calls a timeout, and we can't underscore how difficult it is to have a team like the Lady Bulldogs on the ropes early like this. This is a program that won 8 consecutive Nevada State titles from 2015 to 23. They were upset in 2024, but came back and won another state title last year. Their head coach, Karen Whites, has won 15 of them.
Yeah. She's in the Southern Nevada Hall of Fame for a reason. I mean, she's one of the best when it comes to coaching the game of basketball, and that's you want to get tested early on in the season as these type of games really prepare you and see kind of what your team is made of. How do you handle adversity? How quickly can you make adjustments? Even on that last possession, it's a small example, but if you're able to pick up higher because you recognize your opponent's knocking down three-pointers, those are the things that you want to develop early on in the season.
It feels like a blessing for a high school basketball player to play in an event like this a few weeks before the real season starts. Kind of work those things out, make sure you're in shape.
Absolutely, and a lot of times you don't really know where you need to improve upon until you get up against somebody else. It's kind of see the same things in practice when you're playing against each other every day or over the summer, but it's not until you play against different opponents who run different offenses where kind of get to see what you need to work on as a team.
It's the iron sharpens iron, but you just kind of need a different type of iron.
You need a different type of iron, exactly.
Intra-squad scrimmages can only do so much as it's thrown away. Messy possession there for the Bulldogs, and then a frustration foul.
If you're Brown there, you want to play off of 2 feet. She caught the ball at the top of the key. Nice ball fake that got Kristevsky in the air. And I think if you play off 2 feet there, you have more of an opportunity to make a successful play.
White runs into Hatter and gets it down low. In the paint, spinning and scoring. It's Montgomery.
And that was a nice quick move from Montgomery. Did not wait for the help side defense to come. Quickly attacked with her right hand, spin to her left, and was able to finish over the top.
On the other end, a miss for Mitchell. He's been a high volume shooter so far. White looking inside and throwing it away.
Again, that's where those fundamentals come in. That's the right idea to try to get the ball inside. We got to use shot fakes as we see this play again. Attacking the mismatch. Starts going to her right, spins back to the left. It's a nice quick attack because the double team was coming off the mismatch.
Mitchell for the response. Yes, indeed. And a foul.
And they're going to let her be the scorer because they do not want the ball to get inside CBC. And so she has to continue to be aggressive and confident. As we see this high ball screen, you see Kristevsky kind of staying with her offensive player, and it's a nice downhill attack, great pace there and great balance.
You could almost feel Kristevsky wanting to help there, but well, you've got Nation Williams right behind you. As the free throw miss
and
is hauled
as
in.
well. Over is definitely capable as well, so that's the strength of their team. So before this game, they probably talked about make the guards beat you if you're CBC.
It's clearly the message. Suzuki off to Hatter. We've seen some nice bursts from Cherry Hatter and Kristevsky with a miss. Oru saves it, but I think she stepped out, so we'll stay here on this end. So as a guard, let's say you know the defense has that plan of attack. They won't let the big beat us. we're going to give the guards some space. How salivating, how enticing is that for you?
Well, there's pressure because you understand as a player that as you see nice mid-range, not able to knock it down, that you have to be aggressive, but you also understand the strength of your team. So you understand if you miss those opportunities, it's definitely going to look bad on you because you're not getting the ball to your best player. But I think at the end of the day, you got to be confident.
On the other end, another transition breakdown, bailed out as Malik missed, but it's Montgomery for cleanup. You can count it. A nice burst these last couple minutes from Peyton Montgomery, who just stormed in here.
Being the second trailer in transition, continuing to run the floor, and it's good balance there, finishing through the contact to get the and one.
Montgomery, 5'11" senior forward. With the miss, free throw shooting has been horrendous on both sides. The three-pointer gets hauled in by Hatter. Hatter storming in, falling down, and a rebound for Dotto. Here's Oru pushing the pace. Little driving kick. Long two, good for Dotto.
That's the guards of the Lady Bulldogs continue to need to stay confident. It's a great take from Oru. CBC is going to collapse that paint. If you're a guard for the Lady Bulldogs, you got to be ready to shoot or attack closeouts, just like that.
Yeah, Kristevsky with the miss. Here come the Bulldogs. Oru dumps it off. This is Williams' game, and she left it strong. Williams hasn't quite had the touch we're used to seeing from the number 11 ranked player in the land.
You're not going to see her miss too many of those. No. That's exactly what she wants. Over her right shoulder on the other side of the basket with her left hand.
So CBC with a 12-point cushion. Right around the 2-minute mark of the first. Nice spin, Montgomery. Got a little lucky, and Oladokin puts it in.
That was good help there from Dotto, but ultimately it went through her hands and able to get the bucket.
And a foul on the other end will mean free throws for Mitchell. Meanwhile, Rosie Oladokin has 7 points for CBC. And without Jersey Robinson, they need scorers to step up. And 22 in black has done so.
Yeah, it's doing a good job of playing her role. You know, just being a beneficiary off of the guard play of CBC and Kristevsky. Need players who can be effective without having the ball in their hands all the time. Like, just be the finishers.
Kristevsky coming in for these last 100 seconds. We've got free throws here for D.D. Mitchell, who's played a starring role for the Lady Bulldogs. Can't hit the second. Kristevsky rips the rebound, and then it spills out into the hands of Dotto. Here's a three ball that airballs and saved, but to the wrong side. It's Hatter throwing it up. Tip no for Montgomery, but again, second life for CBC.
That's where if you're Hatter as a young player, only a sophomore, you gotta understand when to take the ball back out, what are good opportunities to drive it in.
To a cutting Kristevsky for the deuce.
A little back screen action there. The Lady Bulldogs not doing a good job of talking that out. We got Kristevsky going through the pain. You're better off at least having one person following her.
Oru rejected. It's Montgomery with the block.
I think Oru has to pick up her level of competition right now. A little bit too passive from her. Does not a bad job of sealing off. That's where you got to use a shot fake, a power dribble to carve out some space. Nation Williams needs her running mate.
Fadeaway off for Williams, who's missed her last few shots. Oru with the board. And then coming in, it's no from Mitchell. Suzuki prized it away, but we're going to stay on this end with 38 seconds in the half. Looks like Williams will get a breather. 15-point cushion here for CBC. Led by Amelia Krstevsky, the Oregon-bound center. 9 points, 9 rebounds here in the first half. And spinning her way inside, Brown left it short.
That's the second time Brown has gotten the ball at the top of the key and has made a good play, but just not quite able to finish.
And a Suzuki double dribble. So if the Bulldogs want to, they can hold for the final shot. Really a dominant first half for CBC, led by Krstevsky, Montgomery, and Oladokin. Mitchell, Oru. Oru, the triple. Not this time. Oladokin hauls it in, and that'll send us to halftime. What a dominant first half for CBC. A 15-point cushion without their best player. We'll have the second half for you when we come back. This is the 2025 Border League from Las Vegas. You're watching the Border League on League Ready, live from Coronado High School in Las Vegas. We got basketball on the air en masse this weekend, and so far, it's all about Emilia Krstevski. 9 points, 10 rebounds at the half.
She's so skilled, has so much size, and such a fluid jump shot. And my favorite part of her game is the fact that she's able to get that ball up so quickly on her layups.
Well, the matchup we were watching coming in was Krstevski against Nation Williams of the Lady Bulldogs, and so far, big advantage for Krstevski with 9 and 10. Meanwhile, Williams, 8 points on 3 of 7 shooting. A little choppy start for the Bulldogs, which you've seen show up a little more in their defense, Trey.
Yeah, it's been the transition defense. I noticed early on, it was the pickup point. When you're playing against high-level talent, which are these are the best teams in the country, you have to make your presence felt on the defensive end and pick up higher, because if you don't, teams are going to just carve you up, whether it's off individual play or moving the basketball. And so that's the biggest adjustment I think the Lady Bulldogs need to make in the second half.
CBC doing a lot of the little and big things better than the Bulldogs in that first half. They shot 5 of 11 from long distance. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs didn't make a single three-pointer, 0 for 6. Also, +6 on the rebounds for CBC. This big combo down low, you see Williams encouraging Oru, 24 and 20. What do you need to see more from that duo in the paint?
I think especially from Oru, just a lot more assertiveness and demanding the basketball. They run a lot of that high-low, that 3 out, 2 in. Try to call your number, demand that basketball, especially if there's some switches.
Right away, Mitchell double teamed, passes out of it as Williams whips it into the corner, and a 3-ball just off the mark. So now 0 for 7, the Bulldogs from downtown, and again a transition breakdown.
And it's the 2 guards. Whoever the 2 guards are designated no matter what to get back, because as a shooting guard and a point guard, you're rarely going to ever crash the glass. And so a lot of that is right now on Mitchell, who's only a sophomore. It's learning the fundamentals of playing high-level basketball.
And then Oru can't hit the wide-open layup. In the corner, triple off the mark, rebounded by Williams. It was Malik on the miss. Williams just taking matters into her own hands now, saying, I'll run the point. Little inside-out action, but too much mustard on it for Branch.
Yeah, and you don't want Nation Williams doing that. As great of a player she is, that is not her game, to go 94 feet with the basketball and be a playmaker. You want to get her in her sweet spots, and so it's where somebody in the backcourt for this Lady Bulldogs team really needs to take control on both ends of the floor.
And now Krstevski wide open, now with 11 points. So a 4-0 run coming out of the timeout. Williams facing up Krstevski, puts it on the deck, spinning and missing.
And how about Krstevski forcing her to her left shoulder to shoot the ball with her right hand? It's great defense.
Long distance triple. Rolls out of bounds. Audacious attempt by White. And we're really seeing more of the same. The transition breakdowns, Krstevski dominating. Same narrative in the first couple minutes.
And here's the thing, Coach White is not a coach that is used to losing. So I'm sure they're going to get a mouthful at practice this upcoming week about this performance.
Williams, a baseline drive, up and under, and when that's not falling, you know something's up. White looking for Krstevski through the double team. Oladokin fighting for the board, wins the battle with Williams. Now pops a 3. Little strong. And then it tips out. I'm seeing CBC fight tooth and nail for every single rebound, Trey.
And that right there for Oladokin, it's a great offensive rebound, but you don't want to dribble the ball out and then shoot a pull-up 3. Not the best look. Try to get the ball back inside, whether through a post-up or giving the ball to one of your playmakers.
Here's Mitchell facing a double. The feed for Williams spills into the backcourt, and then smart play throws it right off Oladokin.
We're seeing CBC really blitz the ball here to start off this second half, trying to see if they can create some turnovers and get out in transition and really blow this game open.
These orange shoes pretty styling for Delaney White.
Look at this blitz right here at half court.
Williams wide open. Will take it inside and can't hit the bunny. She's 0 for 4 in the second half.
She had Holly Fenton open in the corner there as well. It's the pass that you got to make and trust your teammates.
Here's Kerstevsky. Now Oladokin. CBC moving the ball around the perimeter. Now White plunges in. Mid-range fall away. Delaney White.
That's the type of shot that you're going to get when the focus of the game is on the bigs. Again, on those ball screens, the bigs are going to stay home, and you got to be able to make a play off the pick and roll.
And White calls a timeout. Take me through this.
Just a nice step back. You have a smaller guard in Fenton who's 5'1". You just get straight to your spot, going to your left through a step back, which is the most comfortable shot to shoot as a right-handed player, and it's a sweet move.
We've hyped up the Lady Bulldogs program and what they've accomplished with 8 consecutive state championships, but let's not pretend like CBC is any slouch.
Yep.
This is a program that's won 5 California state titles and in 2023 took home the ESPN National Championship as the #1 ranked team in the land. 14th year for head coach Alicia Kamaki, and she has built a beast.
But they're coming into the season with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
You talk about their last season. They lost to Ontario Christian in both the Southern Sectionals and the state playoffs. I mean, it's kind of a rough way to finish off the season for such a storied program. So anytime you don't meet those expectations, you remember that in the work of your offseason, and it's showing here early on with them making a statement in the first preseason game that they have.
It was a season low 52 points in that second loss to Ontario Christian in the state playoffs. Offense was falling flat. So work to do as they come into 2025 and started off with the Border League. Passing out of a double. Down low, it's Oru. She goes up, misses, but will head to the free throw line. I know you wanted to see some halftime adjustments from Oru.
It's a good job of finding the basketball, and because CBC is really blitzing, you see Oru flashing to the short corner, assertively driving their right hand, not able to convert on the first. But you got to get somebody in the middle and somebody in that short corner when when the other team is blitzing you, and then you have an advantage on the backside if the ball handler can beat the trap.
Inie Oru, she committed on July 29th to become a Seton Hall Pirate. Entering the season was ranked as the 93rd senior in the SC Next 100. On the other end, Kerstevsky for White. The three is good.
And that's just a simple guard-on-guard flare screen. If you're the Lady Bulldogs, that's a simple switch, but just great execution, coming off that thing ready to shoot.
This ball ping-ponging around as Brown finds Oru and then swipes in for the rebound. On the outside now, it's McFarland going downhill, stumbling into a missed shot, rebound to White. Quickly, Delaney White pulls and misses from the mid-range. Oladokin now nails the triple. Rosie Oladokin owning the perimeter.
I feel like a broken record, but again, it's that transition defense for the Lady Bulldogs. And that time, it wasn't so much picking the ball, but it's finding a body to box out, able to get the offensive rebound, and that's the easiest shot in basketball, three-pointer off the offensive board.
Oladokin rattles it home. How about a 28-point advantage?
CBC making a statement here in Vegas.
No Jersey Robinson today. Absolutely no problem. And that is a total miscommunication between Dado and Oru. Meanwhile, CBC is starting to step on the throats a little bit. First on the offensive glass. And then in transition, they continue to sizzle, causing havoc and converting.
Yeah, just making all the hustle plays. You called it earlier, Sam. And just, you know, at this level, obviously you want to have the skill, but when players are so talented, it's about the little things. And right now, that's exactly what CBC is embracing.
Krstevski off the glass, follows her shot beautifully.
And that's too deep a post position for Krstevski. I mean, she gets the ball down there that deep, 5 feet from the basket. She can convert on almost every time.
And then a miss for Mitchell. Out of bounds, it'll stay. Emilia Krstevski, 13 points, 12 boards. It's been a nice week for her. On Tuesday, she committed to Oregon, and now on Saturday, having a monster game.
Yeah, she's just so good at carving out space in the post. A lot of that is timing and understanding when the guard is going to get you the ball. She does a great job of making it easy on her guards to throw it to her down there.
With the left hand, Williams reasserts herself. Got fouled by Krstevski, so chance for the three-point play.
That's what lefties are so good at doing, is they'll drive left and they'll kind of do that half spin as if they're going back to their right hand, and then still continuing to go downhill with that right shoulder and using that left hand. That's exactly what Nation Williams did on that possession.
She can't polish off the and one. And there was some pushing and shoving on the rebound. They'll get a foul on CBC on Peyton Montgomery. Meanwhile, it's a 28-point lead for CBC against the defending Nevada State champs. This one chased down by the Bulldogs and then taken right back by Marley Rambert for CBC. Storming ahead with a double dribble. Some of that preseason sloppiness you expect. Hey, good to have you with us. Hope you're having a nice Saturday. 2025 Border League. Live in Vegas. Sam Brief and Trey Demps with you, alongside our wonderful crew, putting in some serious work this weekend. In the corner, Mitchell thought about the three. Instead, she'll reset things, but here's that blitz you mentioned, Trey. Leads to a jump ball, CBC basketball.
And Mitchell's doing a pretty good job of utilizing the retreat dribble. But then after you retreat, you got to be strong with the basketball. And then as a teammate, you have to flash into the open areas of the middle. Kind of the play is broken at that point when two come on the ball. And you just got to get that ball into the middle and attack the mismatch on the backside.
That blitz has been so successful for Coach Kamaki's team. Playing shorthanded this afternoon, but with no problem. And Williams, pocket picked by White. Delaney White, a swiper on defense. And then she fights through contact, saying, "Where's my foul call?" It's Bulldogs ball.
Even though she turned the ball over in that possession, Delaney White has been so impressive.
Yeah.
Just her, she's the head of the snake in terms of her energy and making those hustle plays, getting everybody organized, being a knockdown shooter, just doing a little bit of everything for this CBC team.
Mitchell looking down low. Nice interior passing, and Williams will head to the stripe.
It's a good play there from Mitchell, making the read off of the ball screen. I thought Brown had an open layup. Elected to get the ball to Williams, who's able to get fouled.
It's been a struggle bus at the free throw line today. Bulldogs 4 for 10. But Williams hits that one. Just a slow burn for them offensively. 23 points in about 25 minutes so far. Williams in double figures, hitting them both. So here goes Suzuki for the CBC offense. A team looking to get back to the California mountaintop this season. Cherry Hatter falling down, now fighting with Williams for it. And they're pointing to the Bulldogs. It's a jump ball, so possession arrow going Vegas's way. Or a kickball. Either way, blue ball. So it really feels like now or never for the Bulldogs. They're down 26. Real desperation time. Spills to Williams at a foul against CBC.
The one thing we see a free throw. Orua has to do a better job of keeping that ball high. She catches the ball in the short corner. She's gotten it there a few times, especially in the second half as CBC is blitz the ball. You got to keep the ball high there and be able to kind of read where the defense is. It's almost like catch and face. And then a lot of times you don't even need to take a dribble. You can shoot right over the top or make a pass or utilize a ball fake and then try to get into the teeth of the defense.
Oru splits the free throws. And still the Bulldogs have half of CBC's total.
Ooh.
How about Suzuki starting to sizzle?
Nice pace there. Dribbling through the defense. Making a split. Even undersized, able to finish down there with the trees.
No good on the triple. Suzuki punches it out. What a heads-up play. But Malik got twisted around and over and back. Kind of tough to know where you are on the court. Well, Callie Suzuki's been kind of quiet, but let Callie cook.
And Colson has come into the game for the Lady Bulldogs and really pressured the ball. And the best way to attack pressure is to make that pressure honest by driving it and breaking the play and being able to create for yourself.
Mitchell swerves inside, draws the contact. It's a foul on Kirstevsky. So Dee Mitchell's turn for some free throws. Hey, Mitchell, a big load on her shoulders.
Yeah.
She's only a sophomore, already fielding some high offers. I know you see a certain moxie in her game.
Yeah, she has this great pace and great feel for the game. Has to continue to improve as a jump shooter. She hits the back rim and able to knock down the first one. But you can tell that she wants the moment. She wants the ball in her hands, and it's a really good right-handed driver. Has to improve on being comfortable driving with the left hand, but definitely a ton of potential at 5'11". Able to score at 3 levels.
And here following her miss and then lost it. It was pawed away by Ola Doken. Dee Mitchell has already seen offers come across her screen or her mailbox, email.
I don't even think it's, back in the day, it was you get the mail recruiting letters. I don't know if the kids get those these days.
Now I imagine an email, maybe a text. Into the corner, a miss. Williams swoops in for the board and then pried away. Mitchell, the fadeaway, and a foul. So she drops it in the inbox of the hoop.
Like what you did there, Sam, is, again, Nation Williams putting that ball down, and CBC is going to take advantage of that and try to strip the ball away. But luckily, Mitchell able to get the loose ball and get the and one finish.
But they really have not helped themselves. 7 of 16 from the free throw line. And when you're down 24 points.
And that's not totally uncommon to see, because these are the first free throws that are like live game. A lot of times you're not taking live game free throws in practice.
How does that feel different? Like, just for someone with experience in big-time live games, that free throw versus end of practice?
Well, I think a lot of times when you're practicing, it's, you know, a lot of half court. It's a lot of more like structured play versus actually full live scrimmages, so to speak. And so, you know, a lot of the free throw shooting is, you know, done after practice or in the midst of a drill. It's just a different flow and rhythm when you're going up and down the court a little bit, you know, for a few possessions, and then you got to knock down a free throw. It's just something from a rhythm standpoint you got to just develop as you kind of get through the preseason.
And the Bulldogs, clearly some work to do, some valuable lessons learned as they come into the season. Nation Williams still in double figures. I mean, she'll put in a double-double just rolling out of bed, but there is some polish to be added, both with her play and Inie Oru as they get into the crux of the season.
That's the beautiful thing about these competitions, is even the top talent across the country, when you play against other good players, it'll expose you in certain areas.
Oru, no good off the glass. And rebound tips to the Bulldogs. You remember playing in events like this? I know not necessarily the Border League, but
yeah,
it's preseason.
Yeah, the nerves are high, especially when you have those preseason games where you're playing against other top high school players. Just kind of don't know what to expect as you see a nice baseline out of bounds play and a little lob for Williams. But yeah, it's definitely challenging just because the rhythm is just not quite there yet.
Basketball is such a rhythm sport. Got to get yourself in the groove. Looked like Williams almost got a piece of the face there, and we're going back to the Lady Bulldogs. Montgomery took the brunt of it.
And that was a frustration throw from Montgomery after she got hit in the face, kind of lost track of her fundamentals, and she knows better not to try to throw an entry pass to the post from the top of the key.
When I get hit in the face, I also lose track of my fundamentals, to be fair. And stolen by White. Oh, she has been everywhere. It's a 2-on-1, and White just hugged by her defender, Eliza Colson.
When we talk about rhythm and kind of finding yourself because it's the first game, White is the one player who looks like she is in mid-season form. Just in terms of her instincts, her rhythm, the pop that she has. And when you have an older guard that can lead the way, makes it so much easier for the players around you that you're playing with.
Delaney White, 5'6" senior guard with a nice line today, 13 points. But a lot of her impact on defense, 3 steals.
Now, also a lot of her impact is the fact that what she's doing isn't really showing up on the stat sheet. Her ability to double the basketball, to get the team organized, to get the ball to Kristevsky. Just probably the player of the game in terms of just impact and helping her team win.
And pregame, when we learned that Jersey Robinson had twisted her ankle and she wasn't going to play, we look up and down the roster. Okay, who's going to step up? Well, you need guard play.
Yes.
Delaney White, Cherry Hatter in the backcourt have held down the ship. On the offensive glass, spinning and scoring is McFarland. If it's a 20-point lead for CBC, by the way, at the 5-minute mark, we go to a running clock here at the Border League. And it's plucked away by Williams. White with the strip.
Every time. And again, going to Nation Williams, she's used to being able to put that ball low and get away with it and still finish. But again, when you're playing against the top players, they're going to make you pay for not keeping the ball high as a post player.
And then a mid-ranger miss for McFarland. Fight for the board, and who else but Delaney White to come away with it? So controlled. White and the foul.
Wow. off the right leg with the right hand finish to disrupt the timing of the trailing defense there. Just a work of beauty. Again, White looks like this is the 25th game of the season and she's getting ready for the playoffs.
White has shown up in mid-season form. Now 16 points and a chance to make it 17 at the line. Tips out of bounds off of Oru. So another possession for CBC. When we set up this game, it was all about the bigs, right? The 6'4" Krystevski, the 6'2" Williams. How about the 5'6" Delaney White? Maybe the star of the show. She triggers for Krystevski. White in the corner. Up top now. 3-ball. Off the money, and rebound goes to Oru. Under 6 to go. Saturday's Border League opener here on League Ready. Mitchell with a high crossover. It's McFarland.
This is where you want Oru to demand the basketball. She's got a guard on her right now. It's a good play there from Mitchell, but again, you want Oru to take advantage of those mismatches as CBC is switching.
Now she sets up defensively against Krystevski. But they go to Montgomery, and Payton can't put it in. McFarland clears the glass. D.D. Mitchell. Brown putting it on the deck and throws it away. The steal for Malik. And then plucked right back by Brown. Allie Brown watches it go out of bounds, where we will stay here with the Bulldogs.
It's going to be a lot of good teaching points for the Lady Bulldogs after this basketball game. And you have a 2-on-1 situation. If you're Brown, you got to get that ball to Mitchell. As soon as the defense commits to you fully, you drop that ball off, you got an easy layup.
The feed to Williams. Spinning and rattling it out. Krystevski on the glass with the double-double today.
That's good defense from Montgomery, making her go to her right. Even though that ball almost went in, you got to play the percentages.
Thrown into the backcourt, and who else? It's Delaney White.
She has a knack for the ball, of anticipating loose balls, rebounds. Such an underrated skill, especially for a guard.
Being a ball magnet. Suzuki nails the triple. Or check that, Malik. That was Malik in the corner. Hitting the three, and then a block foul assessed to White.
And you had mentioned about Mitchell, the high dribbles. We see the three there from CBC off the ball movement. I think Mitchell has to tighten that handle up a little bit. Sometimes it can be a little bit loose. When you're trying to squeeze into tight spaces as a guard, you got to have a tight handle.
Off the McFarland miss. We're staying on this end. As a guard, when you say tight handle, what does that look like?
Well, I think being able to pound that ball through the floor. I'm a youth basketball coach, so one of the things I always talk to my players about when they're working on their handle is try to make a hole in the floor. And so that can become very valuable, especially when you're playing against good defenders that are reaching at the ball, because it helps you be able to kind of get into tight spaces easier as a ball handler.
You reach, I teach.
You reach, I teach. Exactly. But if you don't have a tight handle, you're going to be the one that's taught.
And Krystevski with a miss on the fall away. 24-point advantage for CBC. Into the corner now. Williams so smooth on the mid-ranger. Maybe not the Lady Bulldogs' day, but Williams is always going to find hers.
The Bulldogs have done a good job. Announcer String, right when I was going to give them a compliment of competing these last 4 or 5 minutes, but it's been kind of a tie game the last 5 or 6 minutes or so, so they've stuck with it.
And with 100 seconds to go, here's Hatter. The corner three off, but it's Kurstevsky on cleanup duty. CBC doubling up the Lady Bulldogs. And by the way, about 10 minutes after this one, we'll have the start of our first game on the boys' side this afternoon, featuring the CBC boys team against the Tigers of Wasatch Academy. A California versus Utah matchup. Some high-level recruits in that game. Chidi Wiwe, Junior County, Cottrell Harmon, Brandon McCoy. All coming up next here on League Ready.
It's going to be a fun one. CBC boys team is also heavy trap, high pressure, wants to turn you over. So it'll be interesting to see how Wasatch is able to handle that pressure.
It's a joy to bring you these broadcasts on League Ready. We have a wonderful crew behind the scenes. Puppet Iron all day. Our producer Ryan Kowalski, Nicholas Viverman on the replay, Mason Dover on the graphics, and Quad Diawo, our statistician this afternoon. Probably last possession for the Bulldogs. And it's McFarland going up. CBC, though, with a wire-to-wire win. No jersey, no problem. 62-40, absolute demolition. CBC opens their Border League afternoon with a dub. And on a day where we were focusing on that Kurstevsky and Williams matchup, we saw the 5'6" point guard, Delaney White, assert herself early and often.
Yeah, she is the head of the snake of this team, and the senior leader, understanding this is her last season, she knows that she doesn't have many left of these opportunities, and no matter if it's a preseason game or not, she's going to make the most of it. And obviously, you have Kurstevsky, who is dominant as well. It's going to be an amazing 1-2 combo, and then especially when you get Jersey Robinson back, it's going to be a tough team to beat.
A pretty line for Kurstevsky tonight. 15 points, 15 rebounds, and also a couple dimes, that time to Delaney White, as CBC, looking to get back to the California mountaintop, opens the Border League with a commanding victory. So 62-40 the win, and now we go onto the boys' side in about 10 minutes from Las Vegas. Alongside my broadcast partner Trey Demps, Sam Brief saying so long from Vegas.